Robert, walk back. Yeah, walk behind behind that. Thank you. The picture's up, but the sound's not. I'm good. How are you? Yeah. You can walk back this way if you want. Well, good evening, everybody. Sorry, I'm a minute behind schedule here in the Weather First Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell here with you tonight. We wanted to get you a briefing here on just what's going on with this weather pattern. Just in the last hour or so, we had a big gust out there in Sedalia with the winds gusting close to 60 miles per hour. So there are some storms out in parts of middle Missouri, but so far it is not a problem for us. This is what we've seen with those showers and thunderstorms here. Working out of parts of Kansas into western Missouri. Again, that big storm out there towards Sedalia, a lot of wind with that and the thunderstorms. And actually, that may have very well been with the rain, under the heaviest rain, actually because of the cold pool dropping down and some pressure changes. The actual more intense thunderstorms are closer to that Springfield area right now and just northeast of Springfield along 44. Now, it's been raining for a while in the Rolla area, and you've had some rain down across parts of Iron County, Viburnum, heading over to Codaway, down towards Annapolis. That's where most of it has been. The northern fringes of the sprinkles been pretty close to Farmington and then back to about Sullivan. But again, the air around St. Louis, incredibly dry. Our dew points have been in the 30s today. And so that's the main reason why you see this area just kind of fizzling as it tries to make any progress more towards the east or northeast. And the whole area is generally sliding southeast bound, and it should decrease in intensity. Now, here's the thing, though. There is still some thunder down there towards Rolla. And if you have a late night trip planned, it's going to take you down 44. There for a while, for the next 3 or 4 hours, you're going to have to deal with some heavier rain. There's the rain from Lesterville, again along Highway 21 there towards Ironton. Some pretty good rain up in northern Iron County too, up towards Belgrade. There's your area getting south of Steelville over to Rolla. Still pretty good rain down 63 to Edgar Springs at this hour. So that area southwest of St. Louis is fading as we head through the evening hours. Not that it totally goes away, but it tends to fade in intensity and coverage. But then as we head towards daybreak, we do expect to see a little bit of an uptick in some more rain and thunderstorms across the region. Our anticipation is this is not a severe weather threat for St. Louis overall, but some of those storms coming in across mid-Missouri early tomorrow morning may have some small hail with them, and they certainly will have the potential for some pretty good downpours, and we think that'll be spreading into the metro area. So we do have a weather alert for Friday, and just this is kind of separating the time frame of when we think the biggest potential problems will be. In the metro area, we're thinking that rain chance is pretty high here, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, as that band pushes in from the west. Exactly where it sets up, and who sees the heaviest rain, not positive on that, even in this short amount of time frame. We're not very far out. But again, keeping that in mind, your potential here is during the morning hours for rain, maybe some small hail. But the impacts to the morning rush hour, if you're getting widespread heavier rain, you know how that goes. It's not very good. We have trouble on sunny days, dry days. So heavy rain's problematic. We should get a break towards lunchtime and right after lunchtime, but then we've colored the evening hours orange as well. So we're going back into the lower 70s for highs here, maybe mid 70s tomorrow. You're going to see the breeze picking up across the area. That's one thing we'll notice going into tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, even into part of Monday. It's going to be pretty breezy, if not windy at times. So here's your wave of rain sliding through. And it may not look exactly like this tomorrow morning, but again, this is kind of representative of what we're thinking as far as coverage goes. Pretty widespread, right? And we have to deal with that through the morning hours. Then it tends to let up towards lunchtime, and then we get a break. Now, there may be a little bit of sunshine here, but we're not going to get overly warm tomorrow afternoon. And that's a good thing because that does limit our severe weather potential to some degree for the evening, late afternoon and evening hours. But we'll have to watch an area coming out of Arkansas in through south central portions of Missouri, trying to nudge into southeast Missouri, potentially some stronger storms there during the evening hours. We'll also be watching for something coming at us from western Missouri, although that will tend to move more northeast than to the east. And we do think as we go into the overnight hours, what we see east and southeast of St. Louis turns into more of a heavy rain scenario as your focus for the energy with this system is actually way up to our north and west. So that kind of spins out and the storms outrun it. Now, as we go into Saturday, our risk for severe weather is pretty low overall. Mainly focused west and northwest of St. Louis. If you're up in the Quincy, Hannibal area, back towards Columbia, down towards Springfield, it goes to a level 2 risk. But it's really out towards Kansas City and going out into Kansas and Oklahoma, where it's much more of a problem on Saturday. And watch, you'll see, Saturday is going to be a pretty warm day for us. Very limited chances we'll see any rain Saturday. So most of the day's dry. We have the Greater St. Louis Marathon on Saturday too. So going to be running 26 miles. You'd rather have it dry. I think we're going to make that just fine. But look at the storms developing Kansas into western Missouri, even up into Iowa as we go into later Saturday and into Saturday evening. Now, it's a breezy day. It's warm on Saturday, but again, I think we're dry in St. Louis for much of the day. We're keeping it mostly sunny 9, 10, 11 o'clock here. It might be more partly cloudy, but at any rate, it's relatively tranquil during this time. And, we've got the marathon this week, but if you ever want information, there's that QR code from our friends over at Rumwell. They can set you up with all kinds of race information. So Saturday is our least problematic day of this whole ordeal of dealing with these storms and the waves of them. For the overnight hours Thursday, it's all well to our west for a severe threat, so we're not worried about that. Sunday, we line them up again here across the bi-state region, and St. Louis is again on the fringes of that threat area. There's still some timing here that's uncertain. In fact, it's quite a bit uncertain as to exactly when we're thinking Sunday is going to be a problem, but most likely it will be later in the day. And more likely than not, it's closer to sunset or after, which in a way, in this particular case, may be a good thing because that limits our amount of instability to some degree. So looking back to the north and west, you have higher chances as you go west. We get an update from the Storm Prediction Center. Sunday will actually be the day 3 risk for your Friday, so we'll find out. This takes us into about 11:30 on Sunday night. Again, it's just one computer model's anticipation of what's going to happen, but you do have the front approaching from the west. You've got the energy aloft, and on Sunday, it appears more of the ingredients are at least closer to being together. How they interact with each other and if they're actually going to be in the right spot at the right time to create severe weather is a whole nother story. But it looks like the ingredients are in better coordination with each other, if you will, for us to see a better chance of some stronger storms. So that's going to take us into Sunday and Sunday night. The good news is we'll be in the 80s for highs, but by the time these storms hit, we're already seeing those temperatures back off a little bit. And so that starts to limit our instability. And you don't have quite as much, forcing at that point. The jet stream winds aren't overly strong. They're sufficient for severe weather. But, you take any one of those ingredients and nudge them out a little bit, and you can deal with, maybe lesser storm intensity than what you might otherwise have if you can get all the ingredients to kind of split together. So we do have a quiet evening around St. Louis. There's a look down at the Gateway Arch. We're all nice and quiet tonight. I think we're going to end up with a decent amount of rain over the next few days. You kind of go back and just looking at this incredible amount of action here, the high chances of rain. Between tomorrow and Sunday night into Monday, you're probably looking at 1 to 2 inches of rain for most of us, maybe a little more, but 1 to 2 inches for most of us. And I think there will be spots that get more than that. There's no doubt. But that's kind of what we're looking at right now. I don't think flooding is as big of a problem as potentially just severe weather. Oh, and the other thing, I got 60 million things going on in my brain. The other thing for tomorrow, because it's so chilly in the morning, so when we get up tomorrow morning and you have thunderstorms rolling in here, the air is warmer aloft than it is near the ground. So that thunder, the sound waves actually tend to reverberate a lot longer and go a lot farther in that colder air. So it'll sound more impressive perhaps than reality. But that may scare some folks, but don't be scared by that. Just know that it's cool. It's because it's cool tomorrow morning that, any thunder will sound a little more substantial perhaps than really the storm is. So we'll leave you with that for tonight. And of course, we'll keep you updated. We have a story on KSTK.com and on 5+. And we'll have another update for you coming tomorrow. A few times during the day. Anthony's going to be here early in the morning, tracking any development and any rain that's ongoing at that point. So you all have a great evening.